Back in March 1975, over 3 nights, Elvis recorded songs for what would become what I think is one of his best albums of the 1970s, the Today album. It was released in May 1975 after they'd done various overdubs in April. So that's coming up to 50 years ago now. Time for a celebration, I would think. What do you think? Do you think it's time we got an FTD Sessions version of the Today album? Well, I don't know if one is coming, but in this video I'd like to talk about why I think there should be one, and I'll take you through my fairly modest collection of Today albums on record and CD. So the first album I've got is this American copy here, still with most of the shrink intact. It's still got the hype sticker over there. It's just got a bit of ring wear here where the cover's been exposed, but it doesn't worry me too much. There's the back cover. I believe some of the album designs changed depending on where the album was released. And there's something on the back cover here which I noticed for the first time just before filming. It's this text here which says executive producer for this recording project, Elvis Presley. Now, I'd noticed that before on the Moody Blue cover, but not on this cover. Now, I always thought it said that on the Moody Blue cover because Elvis had allowed them to record at his home. But this was not recorded at his home, so what does that actually mean then, an executive producer? I know Elvis generally took charge in the studio, but he'd been doing that since 1956. Anyway, quick look at the record. It's a tan label, and it's got those bloody ugly stickers over the Victor logo because they couldn't sell imported records in Japan with the Victor logo on. This is the inner. And I've got a second copy. This is also from America, but this one has more of the shrink intact. It's also got a different inner. And it's also a different coloured label. And this one's orange. Luckily without the stickers. With 70s albums, I tend not to collect them too much. If I've got an American copy and a British copy, that's usually enough for me. I don't have a UK copy, so I'm on the hunt for an orange label UK pressing. And in fact, while I'm on the subject, there are a few other UK orange label pressings from the 70s that I'm looking for. I'm looking for Aloha, I'm looking for the Boulevard album, Elvis Presley Boulevard, and I'm also looking for the Fool album. Not one that was made in America, but one that was actually made in Britain. And I realize that they're very hard to get hold of. I think there's another one as well. Good Times. Yeah, I'm looking for an orange label copy of Good Times. So if you've got one of those or more for swaps, and you'd like to trade for a Japanese LP or maybe something else I've got that you might be interested in, get in touch. I'll leave my email address in the video description section below. Elvis actually got quite a move on in the studio when it came to recording this album. The whole thing was done and dusted, well, as far as Elvis was concerned, within 3 days. I recorded 11 songs, one of which was a jam session, the Tiger Man jam. And none of the songs took more than 6 takes. Susan, when she tried, took 6. Everything else was done in 5 takes or fewer. I've got a few CDs then. The first one here is the Japanese first pressing from 1992, I think. Yeah. July 92, and it's just got the 12 tracks on it, 10 tracks. One thing I don't like about these early CDs, some of them, they did insist on putting this ridiculous text on the front here, original album art. But by putting that text on the front, it's no longer the original album art. I guess they did that just to show that they hadn't edited the art for CD packaging, but still it's a bit unnecessary, I think. The next one I've got is a real improvement, and that is the Legacy version from 2015. They did make a Legacy version in Japan, but this is an American version. The Legacy ones are quite pricey actually in Japan. This is a 2 CD set, then you get tons of stuff on this. You get the original album again, and this has been remastered, remastered by Vic Anasini. And then it's also got what it calls the undubbed session mixes. So the overdubbing was done in April, I think. So this one, these 10 songs here also include Duke Bardwell's bass, which was removed on most of the songs before they released the album. And then you've also got on disc 2 a bunch of live recordings from 1975, which I think were the ones which appeared on the Elvis Aaron Presley album. So this one sounds very, very good indeed. Fold-out cover, 2 discs, etc. It's also got a little booklet, but we won't go through that now. Another thing I have is this one here. This is the FTD 2 CD set. This bit here, it looks like a hype sticker, but it's printed on the front there. And this is the one that's got most music. Again, you've got the original album, and then on disc 2 you've got those undubbed, the original session mixes again. But you've also got a bunch of outtakes here, most of which you can't get anywhere else. So it's a bit of an essential release, is this one. And then at the end of disc 2 you've got what it calls 63 Sunset material. And these songs also appeared on another FTD song called 63 Sunset. So why do I think we should get an FTD Sessions? Why do we need one? Well, as I said, this one sounds really, really good. This one is 10 years, this came 10 years after this one. So it would be nice to have all the material that's on here in better sound. Not only that, but this one obviously doesn't contain everything from the Today Sessions. Now the bad news is there isn't really that much which has never been released. You can get some material on a bootleg CD called Christmas Today. Now I've got that, I just can't find the damn thing. It's a 2 CD set with Wonderful World of Christmas songs on disc 1 and Today songs on disc 2, and it's got just a few outtakes which you can't get on the FTD. And I believe there are 4 takes, two takes of Susan and 2 takes of Trouble, which have never been released anywhere. And that's about it, really. So I calculated that if you add up all the music, all the masters, the jam session, all those 10 undubbed mixes, and all the outtakes, the ones that have been released and the ones that haven't been released, you get about 150 minutes of music, which is only 2 CDs, right? So even if they do release an FTD Sessions, I can't see how they would get any more than 2 discs onto that set. But with improved sound and all the material and all in the correct sequence, I would buy that, even if it wouldn't contain much music that I don't already have. Another thing about the Today album is I think it may have been a real favorite with Elvis, because he actually performed almost all of the songs, well, 7 of the 10 songs live. Now you're probably familiar with the songs like Fairy Tale and I Love You So, which he performed many, many times live. And in fact, those 2 songs he was still performing in June 1977, his very last concerts. Trouble, he started performing in March 75, and he performed it quite a lot of times, about 50 times, to promote the single. And in fact, all those 3 songs he was performing as early as March 75, just a couple of weeks really after recording them. However, there were 4 other songs from the album that he apparently performed live. Now, I think I've heard a version of Green Green Grass of Home live, so that's one of them, but he only did it about 4 or 5 times. He also performed Pieces of My Life, if you can believe that. He performed Pieces of My Life once on July the 24th, 1975. And he also did I Can Help a few times. And one more song he did live was Shake a Hand. But as far as I know, they've not been released on any official CDs. If you've ever heard any of those songs on an audience recording, please let me know. I'd be very curious to know what they're like. Okay, so that's pretty much it. What do you think? Do you think we need a sessions set? Would you buy it if it came out? And what do you think of the album Today? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks as ever for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.
I got over Charlie Thompson, Bowley Johnson, Lord, they done me wrong.